I've been doing art for almost 8 years, and in that time frame, I made a list of the top 10 art supplies that every beginner artist needs. Hey guys, it's Rosie from Rosie Studio, and here before me are the top 10 things you need when you get started as a beginner artist. So let's clear this mess out and get right into the top 10 things. First item is this right here, okay? So your first item, of course, you're gonna wanna pick out a sketchbook. I prefer a sketchbook with heavy paper, like watercolor paper. Here you can see that this paper is 300 GSM, which is a very thick, very nice paper. This I bought from Five Below. It's just smaller sheets of watercolor paper. So first thing you're gonna wanna invest in is a good sketchbook, some good paper. I recommend watercolor paper just because it holds up to any kind of medium. Second item that you are gonna wanna grab is of course your paint or whatever medium you're going to be using. For if you're a beginner, I always recommend watercolor paints to start out with. This is the Artistro watercolor paint set, 48 colors. I got this from Amazon. Very, very nice paint set. The best watercolors I have ever used yet. Definitely recommend buying this. It's a very, very affordable price, great for beginners. Third item that you're gonna wanna invest in is some good quality brushes. I highly recommend not going with cheap stuff. Just buy the professional brushes right off the bat. If you wanna be cheap, you can buy beginner paint, you can buy an inexpensive sketchbook. Do not skimp on your brushes. You're gonna want them to hold up for years, not just days, okay? So these are I do not know how to pronounce this. Bennici, I don't even know. I'm just going to show you guys so you can see. This is not the whole set. It came with a whole set of them. These also are from Amazon, so I definitely recommend checking these out as well. Fourth thing that I recommend you get, this is kind of along the brushes side of things, but if you are going with watercolors, like I said, which is what I recommend for beginners, get one of these water brushes. These hold water down here in the brush actually, so you just fill them up with water. And then it helps not having to like dip your brush in water all the time every time you want to get more paint. You can just squeeze the brush, water comes out at the tip, and then you constantly have a consistent flow of water instead of constantly having to dip your brush all the time when you're painting with watercolors. Fifth thing, of course, is to get a pencil and an eraser for if you're doing sketches before you actually do your finished product, which I definitely recommend doing those sketches first, just so you don't have to constantly, be afraid that you're gonna mess up or something like that. So definitely invest, $2 in a good eraser and a good pencil. Sixth thing you're gonna buy are some fine line pens or fine line markers, whatever they are called. You do not have to spend tons and tons of money on microns. I bought microns. These are literally the exact same thing. These are $5 from Five Below. The Creative Expert fine liner pens, just head to their art section. You can buy them, different nib sizes, and they work amazing. Just as good as microns. Honestly, possibly better because they don't run out of ink as fast as microns do. So highly recommend investing in some of these. The benefits of fine line markers are they're very nice if you want to add details to watercolor paintings, or right on top of paintings, all that great stuff. Highly recommend these. Seventh thing that you're gonna want to invest in is going to be just a little palette that you can mix colors on. This is actually my gouache palette. I don't really mix my watercolors, but I do definitely mix my acrylics and gouache. But if you are picky about, what color it is, definitely recommend getting a palette to mix those watercolors on, or whatever medium of paint you're using. This came in a set of 2. It's like a little flower palette. Got these from Hobby Lobby. very cheap, probably like $5 or $6. Definitely worth investing in. I know you can also order different ones offline, order from small businesses who also make them as well. So definitely want to grab yourself one of these too. A thing that you're gonna want to get is some tape. So I have painter's tape, and I also use washi tape on my paintings. The painter's tape is very thick, obviously, but if I'm making a big painting, it's nice to be able to tape off bigger edges. Small paintings, I use the smaller washi tape, or if I just want to, you know, hold paper down on my desk so that the pages are not constantly warping on me, I'll use the painter's tape, just because it's thicker. It doesn't tend to rip the page as much, like the paper as much too, which is also super nice. So definitely want to grab some painter's tape and also washi tape. Ninth thing is, these kind of go together. You're gonna want to get a cup, mug, or glass or whatever to put water in. As you can see, this one is several years old. Actually, there was a candle in this, which is funny, and then it burnt out, and so now I'm using it for water for my paintings. And then you're also gonna want to grab a rag or paper towels just to blot paint off your brushes, water, all that great stuff. This I've literally used for about 10 years now, so it is in rough condition. A lot of people use paper towels. I don't really like to use paper towels just because I always like to have just one specific thing at my desk, and I always know it will always be there, so that's why I always use this towel. The 10th and last thing that I would recommend for new beginner artists is just to grab some inspiration. For example, maybe Pinterest, Instagram. Just look up some art that you really enjoy. I definitely don't recommend copying other people's art, because if you want to get good at finding your own style and making art off the top of your head, you're gonna want to train yourself right away. And you cannot train yourself to do that. You can't create those mindset patterns if you're constantly copying other people's art. So I highly recommend finding inspiration and getting good ideas, and then making your own form of it in your own style. That's it, you guys. Just 10 basic, simple stuff that you can buy for cheap anywhere when you begin doing art for the first time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely make sure to go back, check out my other videos on my channel, give those a watch. Also like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!